everybody. How's everybody doing? It's Win Wednesday. So drop it in the feed and let me know what your win is for this week. I'm sorry, someone is just being so rude and calling me during the show. I don't know, it always works that way. But it's Win Wednesday. Drop it in the feed and let me know what your win is for this week. A win is you set a goal and you've met it. I understand there's a lot going on, but I believe in celebrating even the small little, the small little wins. Better yet, okay, then if you haven't met your goal, but we're still working on it, kudos to you. I still want to give you a shout out. I love celebrating. Drop it in the feed and let me know. I have my comments going here, so drop them so I can see them. Or better yet, are you one that this used to be me? I'm like, okay, I shoulda, what am I can't think of anything, but I do know I want to do something. Is that you? If that is you, still dropping in the feed. I love to do a celebration. If you're just stuck and you just don't know, I get it. Again, that was me before I even got to any of this. Go ahead and you can drop me a message on here, or you can even text me at 614-398-3925. And I or my guests, we will be able to answer your questions. So you guys, are you somebody that is looking to transition? And may the transition be that you are wanting to move up the corporate ladder, or are you one that wants to just build doing a new skill? Or better yet, are you one that wants to go after being an entrepreneur, but all of that comes with a lot of anxiety, not sure where to go to, not sure to where to come to, or you're just feeling a lot of facing a lot of I can'ts, or you also are facing some what ifs. If that's you, you are in the right space. Here at Envision Me, we're all about empowering you to go after your what's next, no matter what. So I bring on women all around the world that are leaving their mark on the world to help you climb over, I say that again, climb over some of those obstacles that we face that stops us. And then we get someplace and we're like the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and then we start beating us up. So we're your stopping point for all of that. With that being said, tonight's guest, you guys, guess what? She's an amazing woman. Her name is Shameka. She is a trauma coach, a grief coach, a mental health coach. And not only that, she is a transformation coach. So you guys, you're getting one person for all of those areas. So if this is something you're looking forward to and you're like, oh my goodness, I need her, can I just drop her a few nuggets? Can I drop some questions? Absolutely. Just drop them in the feed. I will see them. Now let me say this before I bring her on. If you are not a StreamYard subscriber, you have to give me access to see it. Or Shameka and I can't see it instantly. And all you have to do is say, yes, I give you access. And that's it. And it's just so we can see your comments right away. Now, if you're not feeling comfortable with that, like I said, it's okay. You can go ahead and you can text us at 614-398-3925. So let me bring on my amazing guest. She looks beautiful too, you guys. Let me show you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am excited. Look, I've been telling everybody, as I told you in the back, telling everybody what they need to do. And now I just told everybody they can come here and get a taste of what you're doing. But I'm just excited to have especially it's Women's History Month. And here we're going to put an impact on women around the world, even though we do it here at Envision Me, we do it every Wednesday, every month. But what a way to celebrate, and especially having you on, that we need to talk about the trauma, right? There's so much is going on in this world. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And how do we even, I know we can't stop it, but what can we do to put it on pause for a minute and let us get us a breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
But before I go, look, because girl, you see how I'm just so excited.
It's okay. It's okay. We're excited.
I know, I'm very excited. So can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how did you get involved into all of those areas of coaching?
Absolutely. So my name is Shameka Williams, as she said, and I'm a life trauma and grief coach, transformation, mind over matter, emotional wellness. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm also the CEO of a nonprofit organization that focuses on support, like those who don't have support, whether in the mental health field, whether in the grief space, whether in the transition space, because grief is not exclusive to death,
Mhm.
right? Grief is just not about death. It's also about transition. You leave a job, you leave a church, you leave a person, you have a friendship breakup, you go through a divorce. All of those things are transition, and you have to deal with the level of grief. It really began when my mom passed away about 10 years ago, and I went through a process, but I kept going in the same circle, right?
Mhm.
I kept going in the same circle, and I was trying to figure out why I was continuing to be in the same place in my grief journey. Come to find out, I really wasn't going through the grief journey at all. I was just stagnating it, right? I was just stuck because I didn't want to feel my feelings. I didn't want to go through the actual process. And what ended up happening was I went through a lot of different toxic situations and people and circumstances, all because I did not want to feel the feelings. Because when I lost my mom, I didn't just lose my mom, I lost me. And I realized that I kept trying to go back to a person that I would never be again, because you'll never be the person you were before the transition or grief. And so when that happened, I realized how many other people were stuck in this journey. And I
Mm.
said, it can't be like this. And also I realized in a lot of communities, we are not talking about this. This
True.
is not something that, and people are dying, like physically
Mhm.
dying, but also people are dying mentally. They're dying emotionally, all because they don't have the support that they need. And so I said, well, I got to do something about this. You know, if I can be the change agent in this, then that's what I want to do. So that's what really began my journey. And I started getting more and more education about grief. And once I learned so much about it, I realized transition and how much mental health really matters. And I'm a mental health advocate. Mostly, I understand that every situation mentally is different.
Mhm.
And we have to stop feeling like it's something, as a dirty little secret, because it's not. And if we don't begin to talk about it, people are going to literally die. And I refuse to let anybody die on my watch. So I said, well, let's figure out how we can make this work. And from there, I just began my nonprofit, Those Without. It used to be called Those Without Mothers, but I realized how many other people needed the support outside of those who just lost their mothers. And so I shifted and we broadened the horizon, and we've been very helpful to seniors and those transitioning right now with federal things, all types of things that are going
Mhm.
on. People need support. And so that's what we're here for.
I'm so glad that we get to talk about it. So let's just talk about it as girlfriend to girlfriend. And
Mm-hmm.
you're right, especially our community. Let's work with us first.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not, and no offense, but
Mm-hmm.
let's work with our community first, because
Mm-hmm.
our community is the first one. And
Mm-hmm.
and you guys, I did tell my mental health coach that I've said it so many times. There is nothing wrong with some going to get some counseling, and every time I've gotten, I don't need it. And so I'm always saying, those of you who are saying you don't need it more than me, because I'm the one of like, find
I
me.
know I need it. Mm-hmm.
I know I need it.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we help? And I'm with you. I'm going to be that change agent from here on out. How do I get people to be comfortable and
Mm-hmm.
talk, let's talk about it. And then I can move them to you and they can go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
How can be the first thing I can do?
So I think the first thing to do is make sure you come to people in a non-judgmental way. We have to remember that people don't take kindly to being judged, right?
True.
And when I say being judged, a lot of times we think about our speech, but it's also about your body language. It's
Mhm.
also about timing. Like all of those things matter when you're talking to someone about what you feel like they might need, right? You also want to make yourself available to say, hey, I'm here if you want me to go with you. You know, I'm here if you want me to set up your appointment. I've set up various appointments for people because they wanted the help, but they didn't want to take that next step. And
Okay.
sometimes you might have to take the step for them to, hey, what's your insurance you have so I can make your appointment, and make it very, very light, right? I think we make it so heavy, and
Yes.
we already have enough heavy stuff in our life.
True.
So we're like, I don't feel like another heavy thing. But if we can make light of it, like, okay, this is just something that's going to help. But also when it comes to women, especially Black women, white, whoever, but Black women especially, because we feel like we have to put on this cape.
Yes.
We feel like, when am I going to have time to get help? I got 5 kids, I got this, I got that. But it's all about making sure they understand that none of that stuff is going to make sense, and all that stuff is going to fall apart if they don't get the help that they need. So making sure we're clear that this is needed. This is taking care of your family by taking care of yourself.
So I got it. So create a open space, being non-judgmental, including not moving my face or my
Mm-hmm.
body language, just being.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like when you said set up their appointment. I never thought of that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I do remind them. Now, let me say this. When they tell me that they're going, I always say, well, did you go? And then I always also know when they're not going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I try not to press on it too much, because
Mm-hmm.
then I can't use my experience with theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know that their trauma is not like my trauma. But
Mm-hmm.
speaking of that, as we're covering, as you talked about, covering feelings up, and I know that is a lot, the reasons why we don't go
Mm-hmm.
to counseling. What do you say about that? And what can I do to even not even I'm not, and let me say, I'm not skilled like you, but if I can just break that onion just a little bit so then they can come to you, what can I do?
So first, I would say, even when you're asking somebody like, "Did you go to your appointment?" You can also say, just say, "How did it go?" And say it very lightly, like, "How did it go?" You know, you don't have to say, "Did you go to your appointment?" It's almost like, "Oh, how did your appointment go today?" You know, so that'll tell you whether or not they went,
Mhm.
but in a way that's like, they don't become offensive. So if they didn't go, they can say, "Well, I didn't go," and then maybe that'll open the conversation. But if you just ask, "Did you go?" That's almost like, "Did you go to work? Did you do this?" It's
That's
another obligation that they feel like they have to pinpoint. But in terms of peeling back the onion, we have to remember that people and their feelings are very unique. And
yeah.
so it's important that you know the person and their personality, if possible, right? Because they're going to be strangers that you like, they might need some counseling,
Mhm.
right? But at the end of the day, you have to approach it as if you are that's you have to put yourself in their position. The only way you can be a help to somebody else in their feelings is for you to be empathetic and compassionate. They're two different things, right? But you
Yes.
have to say, okay, in my life, what would I want somebody to say to me in this situation? Right.
Mhm.
And I would say, okay, if my mom died and I knew I needed counseling, if I was, going through some struggles in my life, how would I want somebody to approach me about my feelings? What would I need? And sometimes that's what we have to put ourselves in that shoes,
Mhm. I
right?
like.
And we're continuing to do it from our standpoint in terms of
Yes.
the person watching them go through it. But what about you being the person that is going through it? That's what's going to allow us to come to them differently. and
Okay.
and it opens them up to say, okay, well, and when you actively listen to somebody's situation, even if they're a stranger, even if you repeat back something they said, they'll be
Mhm.
like, oh wow, they was listening to me. Because so
Mm.
many people listen to respond and not listen to be compassionate, empathetic, and to be understood.
True. True. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
That's
so
and
it's a
that's
different.
but also too, that's hard to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's very hard to do. Now I've become aware of it because more
Hmm.
of, as we talked about, as I'm transitioning into it. So now what I do is when I hear them talking, I try to put my phone on mute and I check myself. That
Hmm.
way they won't hear or see anything. I want to be, as you said, as open as they can feel like, oh, I can tell her anything and I
Hmm.
won't judge them. And that's what I want. I want to
Hmm.
create, I want to be part of your team, to be that change agent to help them understand everything. So I do like that. Now,
Hmm.
as we go through the grief journey,
Hmm.
especially as as it all is going on right now, right?
Mhm.
And I know it's hard. I know
Mhm.
it is very hard. And so how long do and so many people are like, I don't even know how long I'll get to grieve for this. Or
Mhm.
how long do I even just get to sit and breathe this? Or
Mhm.
better yet, what do I do? What do you say to that?
So I think this period of time is very unique, right? We've never gone through something so detrimental in the pandemic, of course, but people weren't necessarily losing their jobs; they were losing people and lives, right? So it's
Mm,
no comparison at all.
true.
But to people who are losing their jobs, that is their lives,
Mhm.
right? That's their livelihood. That's how they take care of their families. So in this time frame, it's almost like we have to allow people to feel what they need to feel while still understanding that if they stay in the place that they're in, they very well can go into a hole mentally and
Mhm.
financially. So it's not just the mental piece, right? Because
Please.
sometimes when you grieve, we worry because they could go into a financial place.
Right.
I'm sorry, a mental place. But in this, it could be a mental and financial place,
Correct.
right? And so we have to be careful. We want to be motivating, but we also want to be very empathetic to the fact that, and we have to be careful about what we say.
Yes.
Words like, I understand where you're coming from, not helping because you
Nope.
don't. Because
Because
you
you don't
don't.
know. You
No,
didn't do it.
saying words like, if I was in your shoes, this is what I would do. I can't believe this is happening. Well, guess what? That's what they're trying to figure out too. They can't believe it's happening either. So we have to be careful about our words. We have to be careful. In this time, it's all about action. Making a basket for them of, maybe the essentials, deodorant for their family, sending over a fruit basket, like a Hello Fresh. Sometimes those Hello Fresh boxes are only like $23, right? You can,
Correct.
instead of keep talking, send them a Hello Fresh box. I don't care if you get them a gift card to gas stations. Like, do come over and sit with them. Like, at this point, it's not a whole lot you can say that will help them. They need action, right?
Gotcha.
And when you do action, when you create action, when you take part in action, that opens them up to want to talk to you. And then you can say, hey, how can I be supportive during this time? Like, what do you need from me? And sometimes that's the best thing to say,
Mm,
instead of going around a mulberry bush. Instead of saying, okay, and you trying to figure out in your head, how can you help?
true.
Maybe that's the question you should ask. How can I help at this time? I don't know what you're going through. I feel horrible and I'm very sad that this is happening. How can I help you and your family during this time? That's okay to say.
Okay.
Again, it's about how you say it, right? And always say be careful of your body language, because I know as a woman, my mouth could be quiet, but my face will tell everything.
Yeah, yeah. And everybody will text me like, I need you to straighten that up. I see it across
Like
the room.
fix it. They're like, you didn't say nothing, but your face telling
Set it off.
everything. So
Right.
we'd have to be careful about that. And also our tone, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes we don't realize they also don't want our pity, right?
True.
They don't want, oh, I'm so, like, they don't want that. They want, hey, how can I help? So we can get through this together. Like, be strong, empathetic, but don't, that pity is not, because that's making them feel worse. You can feel sorry for where they are, but not sorry for them as a person, because they didn't do anything wrong.
True. That is true. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I do
Mhm.
like that. Now we do have now I also want to talk about, though do have the population that is facing that
Mhm.
type of situation, but we also have some that have taken on the opportunity to transition. They were given that money
Mhm.
and they're to transition out of there. What do you, as a transition coach, what do you say to those people? And not only that, okay, now I have left that,
Mhm.
right, that comfortable position. And now what do we say to them? And how can I even help them there?
Yeah, so I think the big thing that we tend to not do when we're transitioning is grieving where we were. Right?
Mm,
So we have to
true.
be able to close the door on where we were, because what tends to happen is we're trying to figure out why the transition is so hard, or why I can't be happy in my present where I am, is because you have not shut the door on the past. Right. So
Yes.
even though it may have been a pain, whatever the reason was that you transitioned into a new career, a new house,
Yes.
whatever it was, a new relationship, you have to close the door on the past. You have to say, you have to evaluate what happened, why did it happen, and what was the purpose of what happened. But more importantly, for anybody who's going through a transition, what was the lesson I was to learn from this? There is nothing in life, grief, transition, nothing in life that we go through that does not have a lesson attached to it. And what happens is a lot of us are trying to figure out why we keep going in the same. We go to another job, but it's the same situation. We go to another relationship, but the same situation, because we have not learned and been accountable. See, not just learned, but been accountable for the past situations. What did I do wrong? What could have happened better? Okay, what will I take to this next space that I don't need to take with what don't I need to take with me, and what can I take with me? And that's the problem. Sometimes as we're navigating, we're not closing the door on what happened, on what was. And so we can't fully enjoy the transition and really be in it, seek what we need to seek in it, get what we need to get, and really be happy because we're still thinking about what happened from before.
I agree with you that transition is hard. But I love that you say, what did you learn from it? How did you get there? What I really love, girl, I already circled it. What lesson did I learn from that? That's powerful. That is powerful, and I love that. So as we believe it or not, our time is almost up. This has been fun.
Yes, it has been.
So what would be one tip that you would tell our listeners to try to implement, that they can implement today, right now? What would be something that you would like to leave them with?
So I think go through everything in life, identifying the things that went wrong and what went right. In every situation, in every storm we go through, whether it was a death, whether it was a transition, even in death, there are certain things that we have to learn, right? About yourself. Why do I say that? I say that because you will experience grief in all parts of your life. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 25, 50, 80. You're going to deal with grief in some part. Doesn't mean death.
Right.
You're going to deal with it at some part of your life. If you can learn in one season how to deal with it, you are now allowing yourself to be purposeful in every other season in your life. Because you're now taking those lessons that you have learned in those grief and transition periods, and you are now applying to how you're going to react in the future. Yes, every journey will be different, but what you will have learned will allow you to be purposeful and allow your destiny to be clearer, because you'll understand, I learned these lessons here. So what else do I need to learn so that I can really be the testimony for other people who need to see that I got through this and I learned these things, and this is what they can learn too.
Oh, I love it. Girl, that was powerful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to replay that again. I'm gonna have to
yes.
tape that and put that in my office every day, every morning. I'm gonna have to push play. Like, thank you, Shameka.
Yes.
Shameka, as we get ready to shift up to, our time is almost ending, but I still have some more questions for you. What is your what's next? I mean, you're doing some powerful work, but what is your what's next?
Yeah, so we're my nonprofit, Those Without, is going to really be doing some global things. We want to not reach my community, and I want to be able to reach everybody. As someone who has had mental health struggles in my past, that's something that's very, very dear to my heart. So making sure, especially in the times that we are in, that we are making sure we're not just checking on the strong ones, we're checking on every single person, and making sure that we are allowing everyone to know that the world is better with them in it. We got to give these people hope, because there have already been so many different domino effects of everything that's happening. And it's not just if you lost your job, but just the fear of what could happen to them, right? What could happen to my friends? And so just making sure that my organization is being very clear that we're there for them. We're there for everybody. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You have an advocate. You have somebody that will be, I don't care if you're 80, 90, it doesn't matter what age you are. And also, I'll be finishing my degree to be a mental health therapist. Um,
Congratulations.
2026. Yes, I'm very excited. I stopped my schooling because my mother actually passed away and I had to deal with my own grief,
I'm
right?
sorry.
But I refuse to let that stop me. So I'm very excited about that. And then I'm collaborating with a lot of different organizations to put a lot of good community work out there. I'm not big on events anymore. I used to be very big on that, but I see that events don't necessarily help our community. They
Right.
can, but I'm going to be focused more on the community based work. So making sure that people know that we're here and available, so that they have somewhere to go if they need it.
So how can someone listening to us or watching us, how can they get connected to your nonprofit?
Absolutely. So they can right now our nonprofit website is being altered again because we shifted from those without mothers to a broader scope. So it is being worked on right now. I'm super excited.
Oh,
But you can reach me at Shameka Speaks on Instagram, also on Facebook. My name's Shameka Williams, and we will put all the information there. You can always email me if you want to do collaborations and things like that. But everything is being solidified. I believe in order. I believe that things should be done in decency and in order. So I want to make sure everything is correct before we just,
yeah.
because as I said, if we're going to go global, everything has to be right.
I
It has to
understand.
be right for my community as well. But at least I can speak, I can go to them and see them. If it's global, they only have the website to look at. And so I want to make sure everything is right. So please contact me if you need me. I'm readily available. And we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to get the support they need.
Absolutely. I think I'm so with you. You have my support.
Yes.
Also, Shameka, as we have people listening to us and like, wow, that was powerful.
Hmm.
Be the one piece of advice you would like to leave them with. Now they've heard you already, but
Hmm.
what's something that you want to leave them with even more?
Um, you're the evidence. You're the evidence. You're the evidence. Your life is evidence. Even though you've been through multiple things, some of us have been through things since we were children. But you are the evidence that you can get through it, that your children can get through it, that your friends, your family can get through it. You are evidence of what life threw at you does not have to be your standing point. You can still move through because you have. You already have. The fact that you're still here means you are the evidence of getting through so many things and still being here. So remember, whatever you go through in life, you can once again be that evidence.
Evidence. I love it. I got that. So the
Yes.
last question. I love reading. Love,
Hmm.
like I have in my Audible books, I have 90 books, just an Audible. And then
Hmm.
over here I have bookshelf, and they're
Hmm.
packed. And then I have books. I just have books everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love reading. What is one book you would like to leave everybody with that they should read?
I would say I have a book by Dr. Shavonna Whitehead, and it is called The Cutting That Made Me Whole.
Mhm.
And it's an awesome book about just transitioning from the different cuts that we take daily from the world, from the things that the world throws at us, but still making it with those cuts and letting it make us whole, letting us make us who we are, as a person. And it really changed my perspective on the things that happened to me in my life. And so, yeah, I would definitely suggest that book.
And it's by Dr.
Shav-
Siobhan. Siobhan.
Shavonna Whitehead, Shavona, and it's Whitehead. And she has it on her website as well, Shavonna L. Whitehead Ministries.
Got
And
it.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I so appreciate you. Would you like to leave anything else?
I would just say thank you for the opportunity. It is amazing what you're doing here. I pray that this goes global, this goes everywhere, because this is such amazing, amazing community that you're creating,
Thank
right?
you.
And people need to hear this. People, you are a change agent already. Right. So I just pray that if you need me at any time, please let me know I'm here, because this is the work that needs to be done.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
easy. So I want to say I'm proud of you. If nobody tells
Thank
you,
you.
proud of you because I understand that, they may just see the show, but I know that there's so many things that go on behind the scenes. It's not easy doing this work.
Right.
So I would say just encourage you. And if I can ever be of any help, please let me know.
I do. I have something to ask you, but I'm gonna wait till after this. So
Okay.
just hang on for a moment.
No problem. No problem.
Well, I want to thank you though for joining us. This was so much fun. I could
Yes.
sit here and talk to you all day about
Yes.
all categories. My paper is full. I have front notes,
yes,
and
yes.
back notes,
It's
and
okay.
and so we will keep this going. But just hold on for a moment. I'm going to put you in the green room. Don't hang up with me, please.
Okay.
Look, because I will come back and find you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness, guys. I can't believe the time has came and it has gone and it's came and gone again. I hope you found that tonight's episode has helped empower you and understand that we all are facing different areas of transition and how that you don't have to do this by yourself. Even Shameka said, lean on people and let them know what you need. And those of you who someone does reach out to you and say, hey, I need help, make them a gift basket. I really like HelloFresh gift cards. So I'm gonna have to see if I can do a little partnership with them. I'm gonna see if I can pass out some gift cards there. But I just want y'all all to know that, you know what? You only have one life to live. Even Shameka said it. And we need to go ahead and be the change for all of us. And I'm here for you. And I know we are going through some transitions and I understand there's tough times, but you don't have to do it by yourself. You have a team. Shameka's here. I'm here. Though I may not be able to answer the mental health or may not be able to handle the grief, but I can pass it along to now my new connection, who is Shameka Williams. So I hope this has helped you. Note that today is for you. And know that you can do this. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know. But go out here and make today like it's no other. And if you need some assistance, and if you're needing our help, or if you're needing some guidance on how to maneuver through all of this that is going on, then go ahead and drop me a line or text me at 614-398-3925. Until next week, when I bring on another amazing trailblazing guest who's going to help us create our what's next, but understand we got to get over the what ifs and I can'ts, and we're going to do it with each other's help. Until next week, everyone, I want you all to know, take care of yourself and know that you don't have to do this by yourself because we're here for you. Bye.